All right. So first of all, let's start by setting up our project and defining our agents. So in this project, after you have already installed the needed tools, you will need to import CREWAI and sorry. Yeah, you will need to import the tools that you will need to create your Crew AI agent. So we say from Crew AI import agents task uh, LLM crew process. And then we also want to import tools. So we now say from crew AI tools imports Tavil search tool because we want to actually search, not extract. And then we would import our python.env, which is what manages our keys that we've set in our virtual environment, in our env file, sorry. So we say from .env import load .env, and then we call the function. The first thing that we want to do is to set up our LLM, then set up the Tavil search tool. So we say LLM equals to the LLM that we imported from Crew AI, and with this we can define the model, the temperature, and the API key. Okay, so now that we have set up our LLM, we are using GPT-4o from OpenAI, and we are setting the temperature to 0.8 because since the AI agent is going to do the research, the writing, and the editing, we want the response to be creative. Hence, we decided to use a 0.8 temperature configuration. And another thing I forgot to import was OS. And then we also define our API key. So this is how to define our LLM. Let us next define or set up our Tavil search tool. And in setting up our Tavil search tool, we use the Tavil search tool that we imported from Crew AI tools, and we pass the API key, and that has been configured or has been set up in the web search tool variable. Okay, so now that we have set up our tool and we've set up our LLM, the next thing that we need to set up is our agents. So the first tool that we want to search is that I want to settle is the research agent, and the research agent would use the research agent class from Crew AI. And this agent, these are the parameters that we want to configure, or that we want to pass to the agent. The first one is the name. So we want to give our AI agent a name, which we would just call research agent. And then the next thing I want to give is a role. So what role is this AI agent going to take? Sorry, what role does this AI agent have? And it's going to be podcast researcher. And after the role, the next thing that we want to set up is the goal, the backstory, the tools, the prompt templates. So we say goal, and the goal for this AI agent, or for this researcher agent, is we want the agent to research on the topic that we give it using web search, that's the Tavil search tool, and using its own LLM knowledge and summarize whatever it researched into key points. Now we also want to give it a backstory, and the backstory is like a background story of your AI agent. And for us, we the background agent the background story for our AI agent is more like you are an expert at researching topics, you and it's mostly used for performance metrics. It's important for understanding the topics most asked questions, and that the agent is good at coming up with research summary. So after giving your AI agent a backstory, next thing we want to do is to define the tools and the prompts. So for tools, we pass the web search tools that we define to this researcher agent, because we want it to make research using both web search and its own LLM knowledge. So we give that as a tool. And then for the prompt template, we are telling the AI agent research on the topic that we give you, and research using both your own knowledge and the latest information gotten from the web, and focus on this key part and these three key parts. The first one is recent development and updates about the topic. The second one is the impact and the significance of the changes, and the last one is the community reactions and discussions. And in that too, you can also find like most asked questions regarding that particular topic. And once the AI researcher agent has done that, we now want it to summarize everything into a clear, concise format, and its output will be given to the next agent. So this is how you can define a crew. This is how you can define an agent in Crew AI. So using the same format, we would create agents for writer and the editor agents. Oh, before we create the writer, the other agent, one more thing that I forgot to also define here is the LLM. Of course, LLM is like the brain of the agent, and without that, the it's I don't think you would call this an AI agent per se. So down here we just see LLM. Course, we just defined LLM that we had defined earlier here. So using this format, we can go ahead and create the other two remaining agents. And while you are building this, you can decide to be as creative as you want in terms of the backstory, the goal, and the prompt templates. And we have defined our writer agent and our editor agent. So in the writer agent, the role that we give it is you're a podcast script writer, and the goal is the agent is meant to write a detailed podcast script based on research summary that's would be gotten from the researcher agent, and it must follow the standard podcast script structure. We also gave the backstory and we gave it a prompt. But if you notice, we did not give it a tool here. We did not give the writer agent a tool, and the reason is because we don't need to pass a tool for this writer agent, because the only tool that we are using in this project is a web search tool. So the writer agent does not need that tool. Hence, only the researcher agent would be given that tool. So we also gave it a prompt template, and the prompt that we gave it is that we told the agent to use the research summary that was gotten from the researcher agents to create a well-detailed, lengthy podcast script that follows standard structure, and ensure that the script is entertaining, has a great flow for just about anyone to understand, and answers most asked questions based on the research summary. But then we also told the writer agent that ensure that the script does not go outside of the research summary, so that it doesn't bring about confusion, or the agent doesn't add things that it shouldn't even add in the first place. But it can have funny or famous quotes based on the scene or tone of the scripts. And for the editor agent, the role that we gave it is podcast script editor, and the goal is that the agent is meant to follow SEO practices and improve the tone and the clarity of the scripts gotten from the writer agents. And then we gave it a backstory and prompts template. So in the prompt template, we ask the agent to follow three strict rules. Number one is that the script should be well understood by the target audience. The second thing is that the script should have a great flow and a friendly tone. And the last thing is that the script should be appealing to the target audience. And then we told the editor agent to ensure that the edits should focus on improving the podcast of the script, and so that it doesn't go and remove what the writer agent has already done. So now that we have defined our AI agents, the next thing that we want to do is to define the tasks that we want to give each of the AI agents.